Railway Empire 2 here, playing Industrial Miracle, and it's part of the Industrial Wonders DLC. And today we're working on episode 2. So we did all this in the first episode. The second episode, we have two things. One's to the west, one's to the east. So number one, by December 1871, and right now it's May 1st, 1869, we have to produce a total of 8 loads of coke via your factories and businesses. If we do that, we're going to receive a monetary reward. So that's good. And the other one, by October 1871, we're going to found the business Nissen Quarry. And the iron ore crop can be found in the region Ruhr District West to the east of Duisburg. Okay, so number one, we need to make coke. There's a coking plant here in Mulheim, and we can buy it for the small sum of 860,000. So that's going to be a little expensive. The other thing we could do is put one in, of course. Here's Nissen Quarry. To found that, this particular business needs 8 wood, 4 meat, and 12 beer. So meats come from Essen, beer would come from Gelsenkirchen. So that's a possibility. And then, of course, the wood is right here at Creamer Station. So that's something we could do. Now, over to the east, we have, I think it's Barty. We could keep moving here to Duisburg. As far as our bonds, we really don't have any available. And it looks like we won't for a while. So we basically got to let some time tick off, but wait for some more money. As you can see, we're at 711. Don't got a whole lot of cash. We have some research. So we're going to take the ticket machine, which is going to increase the number of passengers in all our cities by 5%. That could maybe fill up our trains just a little bit more, and we absolutely need more income. So we laid out our line all the way in the Essen freight, which would be able to bring our things to Nissen Rest, and we need 333,000. So unfortunately, we're really not that close to getting that money. If we look at where we stand, nowhere close to getting the bond, and as far as the company value, we're kind of stagnant at 5.2 million. So we decided to do an express line from Gelsenkirchen over the Bochum Express because there's a $500,000 bonus for connecting Bochum Express. So we're going to put one train down a Holda, and we really don't have any money for wagons. In fact, we don't even have money for a supply tower at the moment. We're going to throw it down and connect and try to get our hands on that 500,000. And we have some more research. We're going to take package counter, which is going to increase the amount of packages in all our cities by 5%. And so now we got our bonus money. So we threw our line down. It's just single all the way to Essen. So we had already made a number 2 track just for this purpose. We're going to bring it out of Creamer Station full of wood going to Nissen Rest. We'll throw a west on it, and that should start up on that. Now, what's the other 2 things? So we needed wood. We also need beer, and we need meat. Okay, so we'll go into Gelsenkirchen freight, go over the Nissen Rest, and we'll go beer. There we go. We'll put a west on that as well. Actually, then we have to go back and get 4 more. So we'll need 12. And then we also are going to need a meat train here. Bring that in Nissen Rest full of meat. It can be the slower consolidation, I'd say, because we don't have enough money for anything else. And we only need 4. So as soon as we get 5,000, we're going to throw that down. And then we'll have a meat train. So that should help us found Nissen Rest. Now, the other thing we had to do was to produce 8 loads of coke via factories or businesses. So we either have to go into Mulheim and buy this. Ooh, it went way cheaper. It was like 800,000 before, wasn't it? That's probably cheaper than even putting one in here, actually. And I've seen the Essen's running a little low on cattle. So we're going to put a station here, and we're going to bring in a load of cattle with our west train. Now, are we making any progress on Nissan? Oh, they got their meat. So we can go in here and delete the meat car for sure. Which one's got the meat? They got beer. They got nothing. Okay. So it's these guys right here. There we go. We'll delete them. And we're probably going to need a maintenance station here. I think we're going to try buying this coking plant. The starting bid's a bit low. We're going to see if we can win it.
Wie schön! You bought something at auction.
So that will give us our coking plant, which should help do this. Now, how much is it producing? 1.5 a week. That's not so bad. If we bumped it up, it'd be 298, but we'd need way more coal. We'd need 3. How much is coming in right now? We have 14 with demand 1.9. So we're sitting pretty good on the coal, to be honest. So we doubled our line going to Mulheim from Essen, and now it's time to go in and add another train here, which we're going to do with our wagons on it because we need to create more income. So we doubled our line up to Bochum. We're going to go into our train here and add another train. We still don't have our wagons on it. See how our train was full? We'll at least get another train going.
Next, the ore had to be burned in blast furnaces using coal to obtain contain raw iron. This served as the basic material for steel production.
Okay, nice. What did we do there? Oh, we got our business started in Nissen Quarry. That's good. So way ahead of schedule. So now our Coke factory in Mulheim is at 3 of 8. So it's doing its thing. So we need to deliver 10 loads of pig iron to Oberhausen. And then we also need to produce 8 loads of steel in Oberhausen via one of our factories. So to produce steel, we need pig iron and coke. So slag's created as a byproduct. Make sure it's transported off so that production can continue. You can use slag as you wish or deliver it to the export warehouse for slag and batra. It says here above, in order for you to be able to deliver pig iron to a city, you have to first create a steel factory within that city. So in theory, that would have been better to have over here, right? Because there's coke is right there. If we could grow Mulheim, that would probably do it. Then it'd be really close to bringing in. So we put a freight station in Mulheim because we want to grow it. And I'll tell you why in a second. We're going to put a west train here coming off the 3rd track on Central Warehouse. So we're going to be now supplying 3 cities. So we'll probably have to go back and update some of our trains. So here's the reason. We're already producing coke here. So if I went ahead and once it hits 40,000 and put a pig iron factory in, see it's already getting coke and the iron is something else it needs and boom, it's right there. So that's like a perfect setup. It's at 27. So we need to get this sucker growing here and we're going to do it from the Central Warehouse.
Coke production was running, but the coal from the Zollverein colliery alone was not enough. More mines were needed.
Awesome. So what do we do there? 8 loads of coke via factories and businesses. So now it's got several things on the go. It's going to be fun trying to juggle all this. Right now it's December 24th, 1869. I think time-wise we're sitting pretty good. December 1872, we need to produce 10 loads of coal in Duisburg via one of our factories. So note that collieries only produce if their hometowns supply with required goods. The workers require meat and beer to produce coal. Also note that you have to own the colliery in order to finish this task. Duisburg, we need to own a colliery, and then by the next year, April 73, or well, actually like 4 months after that, we need to produce 12 loads of coal in Dortmund via one of your factories, and so everything else would be the same. We need to own a colliery there, and they need beer and meat to produce. We'll keep going with this. As far as Duisburg, let's just look at that for a second. It's over here. Okay, let's buy that right now. And where was the other one? It was in Dortmund. Okay, here's Dortmund over here. So they have a colliery over here also. Let's go ahead and buy that. So it's just a matter of producing coal. This one here, they're already making beer, so their problem is going to be meat. We're going to have to bring meat to them, so that's an obvious one. Bochum could probably do that. And then Duisburg, they're going to need beer. And so as of right now, they're probably getting none. Yeah, of course. Mulheim don't have any. Oberhausen has some though. We could bring it down. So that could happen, I think. We continue our idea here of bringing into Mulheim. Let's go ahead and add another train in. I think that's a good idea. Starting to be tight on money. We're going to take this bond here of almost 700,000. What we're going to do is double up this track going to the milk because I now have 2 trains on there. So I want to make sure one's like at least loading when the other one's doing its thing. Actually, now that I think about it, let's go in here and let's go express, and we want to go with the Forkana because it's way faster and we wanted to research that anyways. So we doubled up our line to Oberhausen freight, which we already had there anyways, and we're going to bring it in from Central Warehouse track number 2. So now we're going to be doing 4 cities, so maybe this is all going to go awry here, I'm not sure, but we'll put 2 trains on that. I'm hoping that's going to work. We'll see. Maybe it's not going to keep up. The other thing we could do is put an immigration office down. That wouldn't hurt anything for sure. I'd forgotten that we didn't have grain in the warehouse. So we're going to bring in our grain off line 2 straight into Mulheim freight. So we'll do another one off line 4 and we're going to bring that out to Oberhausen. Now, something we probably should do is put 2 because they're making beer. So that would be a smart thing to do, I'd say. We could go into the central warehouse and add beer in here and meat for that matter. Gelsenkirchen decided to put cloth, which is kind of good, but there was a connection bonus out here from the cattle to Bochum. So we're going to bring it into the express station just for now, just to get this connection bonus. Plus it'll bring them in cattle. I think they were getting some of those anyways, but they'll get even more now. So now we're going to put a line bringing in our cloth to Mulheim Express. We're not going to put it to run full, but we will prioritize the cloth. So we're going to want to do the same thing to Oberhausen because they're going to need cloth too. See, they're getting none. And the idea is to grow these 2 cities to 40,000. And Mulheim has just hit 30,000. So we need to get down here and put an immigration configuration office in. All right, now that we have our wool hooked up, we're going to bring in a line running full into Gelsenkirchen so we can start making cloth and shipping it out. And now we have our line from Oberhausen to Duisburg freight. And the idea is to ship the beer down because we already are making meat there. We need the beer to help produce coal, which is one of our tasks. And we're going to leave it automatic though so we can bring some passengers and mail bags at the same time. Yeah, now that Oberhausen has grown, we can go in and put a steel factory down. So for steel, what we're going to need is coke, which is going to come from Mulheim, and pig iron, which once Mulheim grows and we put a pig iron factory, it will come from there too. And we have an extra 100 of research to give us 300. We're going to take flying mail and we're going to increase our transport revenue of mail bags by 5%, which is good because we're really tight on money. And now we have our line from Duisburg freight into Mulheim freight. We're not going to bring any meat over. We're going to make it run full. We're going to put priority on the coal because we're trying to get the coal over to make room to make more coal. We'll leave it on automatic because it can bring back passengers or whatever it wants. It's on a single rail line, so that's fine.
And a coal mine had also been put into operation in Duisburg.
Okay, we have our 10 loads of coal in Duisburg via our factory, so that's good. Now we're over here. We finished our line from Bochum to Dortmund, and we got a west on it here. Now we're going to bring our Dortmund coal all the way over to Mulheim because really it's the only place demanding it. And then we'll just let Mulheim bring whatever it wants. Okay, I was a little nervous about Mulheim here because it had been a while that this industry slot was open. So I'm going to go in and put this pig iron plant in there. So now we should start getting things moving. Pig iron needs coke and it needs iron. Okay, so coke is coming from itself, so that's good. But what we need to do right now is do a line from Nissen down to Mulheim freight, and we're going to want that full. We'll put one train down because it's only going to take 9.3 days, so there's no way that's not going to be enough. Once we get this, we should be able to start producing pig iron, and once we get that, we can ship it up to Oberhausen up here.
Soon, coal was also being mined in Dortmund. The work in the colliery was hard and strenuous. Working conditions were also not good from the get-go. Many workers lost their lives in mining accidents. To improve occupational safety, the mines had to be secured with steel girders. Life underground also had to improve in other ways. Modern tools were used to make the miners' work easier, and thanks to new techniques, meals could now be canned, not only making them last longer, but also making them more nutritious.
Right there, we finished our task of doing 12 loads of coal in Dortmund. And so we also lined up our train from Mulheim going straight up to Oberhausen. And we're going to put the priority on the pig iron. They need the coke as well to make steel. So we'll put one train down and we'll just look here. So see, that's our 12 loads of coal. And so it opened up all these ones here. We'll talk about that later. Right now, we're just going to focus on ironing out the details here. Okay, so we're going to put another train on. So that way we'll have two trains going. So that should help produce a decent amount of steel. We have 200 research. We're going to take cooperations, which reduces the cost of in-service training by 5%. And where we're putting all that extra training money in there, that makes sense.
The raw iron was melted again, cleared of impurities, and poured into molds to produce steel. Vast amounts of coke were required for this.
All right, we did our other task of delivering 10 loads of pig iron to Oberhausen. And now we just need to do these last 5 loads of steel. Now we're going to bring in the slag from Oberhausen up the Bochum just to make sure we don't fill up too much and block our steel production.
The mines were busy mining, and steel production was running at full speed. The Ruhr area soon became an important hub for Germany's industrialization. Coal and steel were booming, and the population grew along with the success. More and more workers flocked to the Ruhr region, but the workers' quarters were soon bursting at the seams. People needed living space and a stable infrastructure.
Okay, so we finished off our last task of that ironing out the details. 8 loads of steel in Oberhausen via one of our factories. And I see we got a lot of points. We'll wait and do that in the next video. If you like that, like, comment, subscribe. Come back and watch another great video of Ike and Me Gaming.